Alrighty, well, welcome everybody to this first webinar of 2017. Glad to see so many familiar and new faces, or at least your names in the webinar. Thanks for being here. So it sounds like we have good audio and good visual, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So first of all, welcome to 2017. I hope you guys all had a great holiday and are, uh, looking forward to a big year. We're excited to work with you guys this year. We're fired up about 2017. We've got tons of ideas, a lot of new things coming, and I hope that will help you guys to grow your business too. What I wanted to talk about today, and I've got Mike here with me, and Aaron and Thomas, Josh and Mike Murphy are also here. So we got the big part of the team here to answer your questions. So don't be afraid to answer questions as we move through this. And what I wanted to do first is cover a few of the recent features that we have shipped. Just a few notable features that have already been out there that we get a lot of questions about. And then Mike Blumenthal is going to do a little mini seminar on how to get the most out of rich snippets with your in the testimonials widget, and just some of the things that are happening in Google now with the search results and with rich snippets and online reviews. So that's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to that. And then at the end, I'll wrap up with some of the things that are coming, some of the big features we're working on moving forward. So hopefully that sounds good for an agenda for you guys. So we published this blog post recently for the release notes. You may have already seen this, but I just wanted to call out a couple of things, a couple of notable features that you may not be aware of, because I noticed in particular there are a couple of features people just don't know about, and we monitor this through our support. So Thomas's team, they do a great job of tagging all the support questions that come in. So we kind of get a view of where people are having questions or issues, and so that's just what I want to do, is clear up a couple of those things here. So first of all, we do have what we're calling in-app notifications now. So we've got a way now to give you notifications inside of the dashboard, and we're only going to use these when we need to. But we did get a lot of requests from people to get updates on certain things, like when we create a new feature, sometimes people don't know about it until they read the release notes later, or if people are having particular issues with something, we can publish it here. And we've implemented this in a way so we can do it on a page-by-page basis. So for example, if there was a new setting available inside of the email settings, we could put a little alert right there on that page with a link to the user guide article. So there's some cool stuff we can do there. We also have it so that if you were a reseller, if we have anything in the alert that references GetFiveStars, then we can choose not to display that. So that way you're protected. If you're reselling and white labeling GetFiveStars, then your end customers wouldn't see some link to a GetFiveStars article. So anyway, excited about that. That's something we've been wanting to do for a while, and we've been so busy we haven't done it. So now I'm excited that we have it. Another feature I wanted to mention is this copy-paste feedback. This is something that folks asked for a while. And the way this works, and I'm only bringing it up, I'm curious if any of you are using this, because I've heard a lot of requests for it. And if you do, let me know. I'd just like to know who's using this or who doesn't know about it. So the way it works is that there's a new tag when you edit your landing page template, and this is the page that gets shown after someone leaves you positive feedback and asks them for a review. And what we've done is added this little section where you can choose to show the review that your customer left you, and they can just copy it. So now they have it available to them, so they can tweak it and repost it on Facebook or Google or whatever review sites that you're after. And we do have a video on our website about how to set this all up, and on the blog. So both on the user guide and the blog. But then the part of it that we didn't do a good job of talking about was, when you do this on your landing page, you should also do it in the follow-up email, so that when we follow up, let's say somebody leaves you feedback, sometimes they don't always click through and leave you an online review. And what you can do is also include this text in that follow-up email that thanks them for their feedback and asks them to leave you a review. So that gives you another chance of getting those click-throughs to the review sites, and it gives them the ability right in the email to capture what they already wrote. And we're finding that this makes it a little more likely for someone to go and leave you a review because they don't have to retype it. Or maybe they can just cut and paste and then tweak. Ideally, they would tweak it and make a few changes to it or something. But anyway, that feature is there. If you're not using it, you should definitely look at it. And we did not turn it on by default because we didn't want that to start appearing in everybody's email because we don't know how you might have customized your email. So, or landing page. So we didn't turn it on. That's something you have to turn on and activate. And we've got directions to do that. Maybe even Thomas, I kind of bringing this on you at the last minute, but if you could paste a link in the chat to either the blog post or the user guide article of this, that would be really cool. So definitely take advantage of that if you haven't seen it yet. The other thing I wanted to point out is that we're going to show in a minute. We're going to show, oh, and Keith is asking, how do we set this up? Thomas, I'll have Thomas post he's got a user guide article that has a video in it and screenshots. And so it's pretty straightforward to set up. Jen is saying that her clients use it. Awesome. Ed, great addition. Thank you, Ed. Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's something that we got a lot of positive response for. I'm talking about this copy paste feedback. The thing we didn't do a very good job of is when we launched it, we showed how to do the feedback page, but the email part we didn't do a good job of showing, and that's why I wanted to bring it up here so you know that both pieces are available. Another feature that we get a lot of questions for, and that's how I know people don't know about it, is something we call ratings only mode. And what this means is that instead of your customer getting an email with the button on it saying give feedback, they get an email that goes directly, and it has the scale right in the email. And so what this is for is they can leave you feedback and go directly to the online review links page. And so what we see is that we have the customers that are getting the most out of GetFiveStars. They're doing a mix. They're capturing a lot of great feedback and testimonials that then get published to your website, which Mike's going to show you in a little bit how important that has become recently. But then they also mix it up a little bit and ask for feedback directly that can in the email using this mode, and it's under your feedback settings. It's really easy to set up. You just check ask for rating only, and make sure you check this include send review directly to us, and I'll show you what that means in a minute. And then what happens is the email looks a little different. They click on the rating and they go boom directly to the page where they can leave you an online review. And that second checkbox turns on the ability they can still leave you direct feedback, because in a lot of our research it shows that certain categories of people would rather leave direct feedback than go to an online review site. So this way you get a different mix. You're going to get, you're still going to get some direct feedback directly to you, but you're also going to get more click-throughs to the online review sites. So that is a feature that is a good idea to look at and to experiment with changing your mix a little bit. And that's another feature that Thomas can send you a link on how to set up. But it's essentially all you have to do is write in your feedback settings, you turn it on, and then you may want to take a look at your email again and make sure, and your landing page, and make sure those are worded how you want. All right. So what I want to talk about next is the importance of capturing that feedback. What we found is that people are, I think, if I'm remembering the stat correctly, there's something like 10 times more likely to leave you direct feedback for your website than they are to go to an online review site. And so, like I was mentioning, if you've got a good mix of a lot of this direct feedback that you can use as testimonials on your website, make sure you're taking advantage of that with the testimonials widget, because it allows you to put this content on your website. And this becomes very, very valuable, crawlable information that's marked up with Rich Snippets schema formatting that Google crawls and understands. And so that leads into what I wanted Mike to talk about today, which is maximizing the value of Rich Snippets. And he's got some case studies he wants to show you and go over with you about what's going on in this space right now with Google and how we can help with that. So Mike, let me know when you are ready and I'll just hand over
I
the
am
word.
ready.
Okay, great. I'm going to make you the presenter. Give me 1 second. All right, you should have the controls now.
Are you seeing my Barbara Oliver screenshot?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, great. So late last fall, Google introduced reviews from the web, which dramatically changed and gave businesses more opportunity to show how great they are on a brand search at Google. And when they did that, they also highlighted a number of sites that previously weren't that well known. The Knot, Facebook, uh, even places like YP.com and Foursquare have now been elevated in importance by showing in the knowledge panel. Interesting tidbit, Yelp and TripAdvisor and the Better Business Bureau do not show over here. But these other sites that were previously sort of wannabes in the review arena have all of a sudden become important. They also gave extra push to any site that did have this reviewed content and gave them sort of first page brand ranking over static, brand searches over static content. So you're seeing a lot more review content on your brand search. When they did that, they also came out with new guidelines to deal with rich snippets on your own site. And those guidelines were quite clear that you weren't supposed to give rich snippet treatment to third-party reviews or reviews from third-party sites like Yelp and Google and Facebook on your site, that you could only use original content for your testimonial review page, and that the aggregate badge, the aggregate rank, had to link off to the reviews so they could be readily seen. So we think this provides an incredible opportunity to highlight your business on brand searches on Google. So quick little summary of how to do this. First thing you need to do is install the GetFiveStars widget. We have a white label version of it that you can download from our help files. Once you've installed that, then you click on the settings, which takes you to a page that looks like this. You then go to the testimonial widget setup page in GetFiveStars. First step is to copy the snippet of code for the testimonial page itself and paste that into the settings, give it a name, and save it, and that will create a short code for you for that particular page, and then do the same thing with the badge. The badge is basically an aggregate rich snippet code, whereas this, where the testimonial widget is the full thing. So you then take those short codes that it provides you, and you can, Don did a video on how to do this using WordPress, so that's available too. You can then embed those short codes, either the aggregate or the testimonial on the particular pages. So I had been working for the last 2 months refining the techniques to get the stars to show in these searches. Client agency came to us and said, use Besso Clinic as a test, which I did. So the first thing you want to do is, setting up your site, is to add these codes. I don't know where this went. Add these codes to your page. So you add these short codes. This particular one gets added to your testimonial page, and then this one gets added any place you need the aggregate review. So you don't need to add them, the aggregate summaries, to every page. You need to add them to pages that show up on your brand search. If you go and you do a brand search on a given client, you'll typically find about us, contact us, and maybe a couple other pages on a brand search. And those are the pages you want to target for the badge. Obviously, the patient review page is the one you want to target for the widget. You typically shouldn't be putting either the aggregate badge or the widget on your home page. Google typically does not give that page stars. So don't, and I sort of feel like it's not appropriate to put on the Contact Us page, where it is appropriate to put it on the About Us page, and obviously the blog and the reviews page. So I targeted those 4 pages, these 3 with a badge, and this one with a widget. Essentially, just to show you what those pages look like, patient review page, he starts with a video, and then the reviews, and the Meet Our Team or the About Us page. It's basically just the aggregate badge at the bottom. So that was basically it. Now, the other thing I did with this site was I wanted to put it in the sidebar of the blog as well, because that was one of the pages that ranked on a brand search. To do that, you need an additional widget called a PHP text widget, which allows our code to execute in a widget sidebar, a WordPress widget sidebar. So you basically then copy the badge code to a text box, put it into the sidebar. Now, in addition, I created a straight up text link with their brand name pointing to the review site. And the purpose of that was to increase the page rank, to send more link juice internally from the site, to increase the page rank of the testimonial page, so that Google would see that the page was important. So I added a anchor text here, and I also added it here using brand phrasing, so that, again, that it would show highly on a brand search. The results, then the final most important part here, and I forgot to do this a couple times and did not see success, is to test it using Google's structured data testing tool. It's absolutely critical, because even when you think you've done this correctly, WordPress has a tendency to munch code, and when it does that, these various rich snippet codes don't make it through. On the aggregate, you want to see something that looks like this, and on the review page, you want to actually be able to see the reviews in addition to the aggregate. So you see the aggregate plus the actual review content, and then you might get some warnings at the bottom. So those are the steps. Just a reminder: install the plugin, copy the code into the settings, use the short code on the pages, use the extra PHP widget for sidebars, copy the full code there, and test it. Those are the steps. Within a week, we had this result. We got rich snippets on all of the pages that we targeted, and we got the reviews from the web into the knowledge panel, creating a much more compelling view of this business on a brand search. Another interesting sort of tidbit that happened, well, another point here though, is that there are many ways to do a brand search. Some of them with Google generate site links. When they do generate site links, these review snippets are not going to show, so you need to be aware of that. And in some industries, for example, like in restaurants, the About Us page isn't the second most important page that typically shows on a brand search. In restaurants, it's the menu page. So you just want to do a brand search ahead of time, find out which pages Google is showing to target with your badge. And then finally, an interesting sort of sidelight of this is that on this particular search, jewelry appraisals, Buffalo, New York, I often work with Barbara Oliver. She used to dominate this search, but she's located out in the suburbs of Williamsville to the east of Buffalo. With the last Possum update, Google reduced the radius. She lost her pack result, but in its place, not in its place because she had already been ranking high, she has 2 pages that show immediately below the pack, one with the stars and the other with the phone number. So even in a situation where you might be winning on long tail, but you're not winning in local, this badge, the aggregate badge, offers some interesting benefits. So there you have it. Obviously, if you're using a multi-location site, things are a little different. But in terms of a single location site, these are the steps you want to do to increase your social proof on the front page of Google. This is probably a page that is seen more often than your website about your business. Any questions there, Don?
Let's see. Ken was just asking about the effect on the SERPs. He was saying, what has the effect been? I mean, I think showing the rich snippets is a big deal. I think,
Yeah, it's
has
eye
it helped?
candy. It's eye
Yeah.
candy, and it's social proof. So I look at it as conversion optimization. I don't know if it affects rank per se, but I think that it presents a different view of the business and creates additional context in the knowledge panel that helps the reader understand the business better.
Yeah, and it also provides unique content on a lot of these pages too. The one, especially your testimonials page, where it's
Right.
showing all, Google's crawling all those testimonials and comments. So,
And interestingly, on this testimonial page, she sees almost 5% of her news site traffic coming through this page. It ranks high on both site links. Because we threw it a fair bit of link juice, it ranks high on both site link views of her brand plus this page view of her brand. And the dwell time on this page is very high, and the conversions from the page are very high. So I think if you optimize for that page internally on the site, you'll have good things happen as well.
Mike Zane is asking, I noticed Mike had 3 different short codes on that site, one for the widget, one for the badge, and I wasn't sure what the third one was
Yeah,
for.
that was actually just because I was showing you how to put it on there. This third one is actually redundant. You only need one for the widget, one for the badge. So I'm going to delete this one. I just added it to show you how it got added. So you only need two like that. Good question. Sorry.
And then Jason says, I have a website that's built on Wix and another on Site Builder. How can I add these widgets?
You're going to have to hire a programmer on Wix. Wix has a unique programming environment, requires probably access to our API to do that. There's no simple way to do it with Wix. I don't know about site builder.
Yeah, we would like to get to the point where we have integrations with all those platforms. Right now, we do have a code snippet that you could paste in, but in order to get the markup, the rich snippets markup, you'd probably have to, get somebody who knows Wix really well to get that done. And then, the other thing I would just want to throw out there is if you need help getting one of these widgets set up on your site, just reach out to us, Thomas and Mike Murphy and Josh. They're available to help you guys because I know the other thing we're committed to is refining this process of the widgets, and how do you install those on the site. So we're going to keep making that better and easier as we go. And then Keith is asking, can we add them in HTML and CSS? Well, we do give you a snippet that you can paste on any website, Keith. Here's the difference, though. It employs what we call graceful degradation. So if your site doesn't have PHP on the background like WordPress does and many other site engines have, then it can't run on the server side and generate the RAPL of the all the testimonials with the rich snippets markup. It'll still display fine. It still shows up, but it can't wrap them. So to answer your question, just adding them in HTML and CSS, yes, you can do it. You won't get the rich snippet markup in that.
You
Go
will
ahead.
get the rich snippet if it's running on PHP, Don. If the server's running on PHP.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I wasn't very clear about that. What I
Right.
mean is if I was trying to back it up to him just saying HTML and CSS, I mean, who knows what the platform is. But yeah, if your server has PHP, then you're good.
And we offer a testimonial widget style that's no style that allows you to overwrite. So you can use your own CSS with it.
Yeah,
Um,
yep.
so
And
we
Thomas
do
has a
offer
whole
that.
article on how to do that. Like we have um, IDs, that you can, uh, what do you call that? I'm getting rusty, but you know these where you can attach to the different styles and override them for yourself. And then Jeff says, what site builders do you have integration with? Jeff, pretty much anything that runs PHP. Um, but I have to say a caveat, you know, they don't all handle their sites the same. Like some of the platforms like Wix and others, they lock certain things so you can't just put on any PHP on your website. So it depends. That's why for some of those more closed systems, we're looking to do integrations down the road. Um, so, you know, if you have particular systems you care about, let us know so we can prioritize those. Um,
But certainly the major CMSs, Joomla, WordPress,
yep.
etc., all work fine.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you want to take the screen back down?
Sure. Okay. Thanks, Mike. That's great.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right. So I don't know. I mean, I think that's exciting stuff. And you know, one of the things Mike likes to do is go off and do these little research projects where he tries stuff out. And that's informed our product in many ways in terms of, you know, how we reach out for feedback and how we're processing that, how we're automating that, and on this side of it too. So, and then a lot of survey information. So we like to pull this kind of information together and share it with you whenever we can. So give this a try. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't doing the testimonials widget. So if you're not doing it, check it out and let us know if you need help. Jason's saying, can you please prioritize Wix, Weebly, and Site Builder? Yeah, we will. I don't have any guarantees because they're each completely different animals, but we're looking at those. We're also looking at Squarespace and oh, what's the other one? There are a couple more we're looking at. So, but I'll definitely write those ones down, Jason, for sure. Okay, we also have some big stuff we've been working on. Um, and I wanted to just share about those because I know that those, for many of you, these are features you've been asking for a while, and we're very close on a couple things. Number one is SMS. So we have this. We're deep in this right now. We're close. We're expecting to have something for you in February. Um, and what this is going to allow you to do is for customers who want to send feedback requests via SMS instead of email, you'll be able to do that. Just a caveat, there is going to be, you know, sending SMS is 10 times more expensive, literally, I'm not exaggerating, than email. So there's going to be, and it's going to cost more because we have a lot of costs to cover to make this happen in the development of it and in sending the text as well. So, but I'm excited about this feature because we're seeing, you know, across the industry, you know, a lot of the response rate on SMS is much higher. You just have to be careful on how you use it. And I know I've talked to many of you about this to get your specific requirements. I've talked to Jan, and I've talked to, and she's clapping her hands right now, I see, in the chat, and to Chris and to Andrew, and many of you who are waiting for this feature. I'm very excited about this. It turned out to be really complicated, and that's why it's taken us a while, but I feel like what we're doing is just going to be a really elegant and smooth request process that's going to have amazing response rates. So very excited about this. Another thing that we've been doing and charging forward on, which I can't wait to show you more of, is our reporting. So we've really overhauled our reporting, everything from the performance report to a new Net Promoter Score report to the online reviews reports and the ability to do comparisons and date ranges and much cleaner, nicer looking reports. So that's another thing that we're deep into right now that we're hoping to bring you soon. And I'm very excited about how this is going to look. And it's also going to give you a little preview of how our interface is going to change over time. We've got some really cool designs coming in now, some stuff that Aaron's been working really hard on. And so I'm excited about that. So just to let you guys know, those are coming. Keep an eye out for that. And circling back to Ed mentioned Foursquare. No, there's a site builder called Squarespace, Ed, that it's kind of like Wix or Weebly, and it's a really nice, elegant way to build websites. So that's what I was referring to earlier. If that was your question, if not, repeat. Let me know if I got that wrong. Another thing I wanted to mention is that we had a YouTube channel put together. So in the past, we were putting all of our videos on Vimeo. We have about 24 videos. And these are like webinar recordings. They're new feature updates. Like you can see this one that shows off how copy paste works. We had those on Vimeo. We embedded those in our blog and we published them there. But we've created a YouTube channel now. And in the past, YouTube has just been such a great platform for us in other things that we've done. And so I really wanted to kind of bring everything together into YouTube. So all of our videos are there as well. If you could do me a favor and subscribe to it, that would be awesome. We just launched it days ago, and we need to get 100 subscribers in order to get our own URL. So if you'd go to that link, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, that would be awesome. It would help me out a lot. And and that way, just another space to watch as we come up with new things. Whether we've got kind of three categories. One is webinar recordings, the other is new feature updates, and the third are like pro tips. So those would be videos on, best practices, some of the things like Mike showed you today, where we're telling you about what's going on in the industry. Um, back to, I missed a few questions, so I'm going to back up to this previous screen here. Yeah, let me just jump to the questions. So Keith was asking, will we be able to monitor more review sites that populate into the reports? Yeah, Keith, I mean, we're always adding review sites, that's for sure. We're coming up with the ability to add more, so we'll keep you posted on that. We just expanded that recently, and I'm sure you saw that blog post where we added I'm trying to remember, what do we have now total? Do you guys remember how many?
Yeah, 7 total. So we added yp.com, Avo, TripAdvisor. So I did answer in the chat window, but yeah, we don't have anything short term as far as that goes, Keith. But if you want to respond, if there's a specific site or two you're looking for, we definitely keep track of what people are asking for on there. But nothing in the short term with these things, but longer term, we are looking to add more.
Thanks, Aaron. And then Keith is asking, are there white labeled versions? I'm not sure when you asked that question. Are you referring to the report, to the reports? If that's the case, then yes, the reports will be, it'll be just like it is now, where they're inside of the interface, and there's definitely a white label version, and then you can output a PDF, and it would have your branding on it. So if that's what you meant, that's good. If not, let me know. Ed is asking Foursquare. We are getting people checking in and posting reviews there. So Ed, is your question, do we monitor Foursquare reviews? I mean, you can ask for reviews on Foursquare now in our system, but we are looking at monitoring reviews from there too, using their API. So we're looking at that for sure. Health Grades is another one where we do allow you to ask for reviews there. The link for the YouTube channel. Oh yeah, if someone could post the link to the YouTube channel for me, that would be, in fact, here I can do it. I have it as a hotkey. So this is the direct link to the YouTube. I put it in the chat. So you'd go there and subscribe. That would be awesome. Oh yeah, and then Josh, we're already monitoring Zillow reviews. Thank you. The YouTube videos white label versions. No, we don't have white label versions of the videos. The reason is I haven't found a good way to, there's just not a good way to be able to make all these videos. They're very time consuming, and I don't know how to make them where they're so generic where you can't even reference the product name or anything. So, we do have a generic version of the explainer video though, and Thomas has details on that. So the explainer video, we've got a version where you can put your own branding on it, and we took out all mentions of GetFiveStars, so that's a good option. But for the tutorials, I don't have a good way to do that. And thanks, Thomas just posted the link to the explainer video. And then
Feel
Jeff.
free to use our videos as the script though, and then just duplicate the steps we're walking through with your account.
Yeah, yeah. And then there are a lot of really nice, inexpensive tools out there now to create screencasts like that. And usually I try to keep those videos to like a minute and a half or less if I can. I try to keep them short and to the point because I'm imagining that someone wants to get something done. They want to quickly, I know that's how I work. I'll go, well, how does this work? And then I'll go watch the video, but I don't want it to be like a 5 or 10 minute video unless, unless there's a whole lot there. I try to keep it short. Um, Jeff is asking, assuming the videos on your YouTube, oh yeah, he was asking about the white label as well. What are your thoughts on requesting or capturing location data from reviewers, either through the form or via GPS, or location data can be shown on the client website as rich snippets? It would seem to be an SEO boost for local businesses to have real on-site content containing references to local areas.
So this, Don, let me answer this if you don't mind. So Greg, we're not going to be capturing GPS information, but we will in the near future, hopefully this quarter or shortly after, allow you to tag individual customers by location upon upload or entry, or self-tag them, and then we will allow you to parse those for distribution out to your site so that location-based pages can contain relevant content from people from that area. So our strategy is going to be an SEO content-based strategy, not like a mapping strategy, which I don't think is particularly effective. So the answer is we will be coming out with a product in the not too distant future, or an upgrade to the product that will allow you to tag those by location.
And ultimately too, I just wouldn't tactically get too focused on geolocations for keyword saturation. So if you're on page content, even if you have just a testimonials page now, I think you'd be better off to use the things you have at your disposal to optimize that page for a location or a handful of locations, as opposed to hoping that 10 people write testimonials all mentioning the name Omaha or Chicago or Minneapolis, just because the minuscule amount that those repeat mentions will help you. Really, there's all kinds of other aspects contributing to what that page is about. So I wouldn't, to me, that's like splitting hairs at the most finite level. I'd be far more concerned about just making sure you have good, solid testimonials on there to earn the trust, more so than, splitting hairs to get down to, do we have 6 that mention a specific city?
Yeah, so we have put a lot of thought into this, and ultimately we think this tagging approach is going to be the most powerful for SEO. And I think, and just to put it in context, that's our next big priority after the SMS and the reporting. So it's on deck, and it's in our shop now, and we're defining that feature. So I think you'll be excited about how that works. And just as a note too, this GPS approach, that only works for a very limited set of types of businesses. It's only really valuable for a type of business that's going out on site with some sort of for service visits and trying to capture that on the device at every location. So a lot of businesses don't operate that way, and so that's another reason why I think the testimonial tagging is going to be a lot more valuable across a broader set of customers too. So great. Well, this has been great, you guys. Good questions, and please keep them coming. If anything comes up later, don't hesitate to contact us and let us know. We love to hear from you. I hope you know that. And we're going to post the video and the presentation. I know there are a lot of people asking about that. We're going to do a blog post in the next day where we'll have the recording and the presentation posted on SlideShare, and Aaron has shared that link as well. So yeah, so thanks so much for coming. Actually, there's one more question I just saw pop up from Sam, so I want to make sure to answer that before we sign off. My clients are not able to get the online review, but get lots of good reviews for their site, what are the best practices for getting the the online reviews, not just the reviews on my site? So, Mike, do you want to address? I mean, we talked a little bit about that's why I showed the ratings only feature earlier. That's one way to do it.
So,
Will you?
Sam, I'd be glad to spend some time with you next week sometime, and we can do a site review. I mean, there are a number of small factors that impact it. There's a number of big factors that impact it. Obviously, quantity impacts it. Quality of the subject line impacts it. Quality of the business impacts it. There's a lot of variables, and it's very dependent upon the vertical you're in. But if you want to reach out to me, Mike at GetFiveStars, I'd be glad to do a review of your clients and make some suggestions.
Great. Great. Thanks, Mike. Sam says he knows how to get a hold of you. So,
Yeah,
good.
email me though, Sam. Don't call me. I'm terrible with phone calls, so emails are rise to the top for me. Thanks.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, good stuff. Well, thanks you guys for all the great questions, and look for the blog posts coming out. We'll send out an email in the next couple of days with that info. And in the meantime, don't be a stranger. We'll talk to you, next at the next webinar or before. All right. Take care and have a great day.